Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna, oh Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Nam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So we are a very exclusive group of devotees today. Those who had some energy left from yesterday. Everybody is taking rest. So today, because we had Prabhupada installation yesterday, today we are going to read from this book called Prabhupada Lilamrita. That's where Prabhupada's biography is written by His Holiness Satsarudas Goswami Maharaj. And there is one chapter here. It is called London, a Dream Fulfilled. This is about how Prabhupada came to London to visit devotees in 1969. And what other things happened. So today we'll just read this from this book. We can all take turns and read one after the other. You manage the scroll. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So chapter 30, London, a Dream Fulfilled. London, September 11, 1969. With the cooperation of Apple Records and Lufthansa German Airlines, the devotee arranged a reception for Prabhupada at London's Heathrow Airport. As soon as Prabhupada descended the stairs of the airplane, he was escorted to a car and driven to a VIP lounge, bypassing the formalities of immigration and customs. As Prabhupada stepped from the car, the devotees ran out of the terminal and offered obeisances on the wet pavement. While Srila Prabhupada looked down on them, smiling, the devotees rose, brushing wet macadam from their dhotis and saris, and joyfully surrounded Prabhupada as he entered the lounge. So this is one very wonderful things which always happened whenever Prabhupada came. Devotees came to see him, and when they welcome Prabhupada, it is always a joyous. There are many videos in the airport. When devotees came to see Prabhupada, and here it is mentioned they just offered their obeisances on a wet pavement. They didn't care, whether it's dry or not. They just offered their obeisances. So here also in our temple, our ticket should be that when we enter into the temple, first we should offer obeisances to the devotees in the temple, and then offer obeisances to Prabhupada, and then we offer obeisances to the deities, Radha Krishna. So slowly we'll get into that etiquette. Inside the terminal, Prabhupada confronted a mass of reporters and cameramen and several dozen friends of devotees. A clean cloth covered one of the lounge sofas, and vases with yellow gladioluses sat on either side. Prabhupada walked over to the sofa and sat down, and Shyam Sundara garlanded him with red and white carnations. Prabhupada began leading Kirtan. The devotees were oblivious to all but Prabhupada, and the reporters resigned themselves to simply standing and observing while the devotees sang and danced ecstatically. The eager devotees were unabashed during the Kirtan, and their shouts of Hari Bol and Jai Prabhupada, as well as blasts from a conch shell, punctuated the regular chanting of Hare Krishna. You can just imagine, we just had a little experience yesterday. During the Aarti, everybody is doing Jai Prabhupada, Hari Bol, and there's conch going on. So blowing of the conch is very auspicious, in any Kirtan. After the Kirtan, the reporters remained at a distance as Prabhupada spoke affectionately to almost each devotee seated before him. Where is Janki? He asked. Oh yes, how are you? Vibhavati, how is your daughter? Actually, you are all my fathers and mothers. You are taking such care. For the devotees, only they and Prabhupada were present in the lounge. They strained to catch everything he did or said. They couldn't have cared less about any outsider's reaction. Finally, Mukunda invited the reporters to come forward. If any of you gentlemen have any questions, you can ask them Prabhupada. You can ask them of Prabhupada. The reporters moving in, what do you think of this reception? Prabhupada said, I am not very much fond of reception. I want to know how people give reception to this movement. That is my concern. Devotees in unison, Hari Bol! Reporter, is this a very special welcome for you, or is this a performance you go through each day? Prabhupada, no. Wherever I go, I've got my disciples. In Western countries, I've got now about 20 centers, especially in America. So the American boys are very enthusiastic. I think in Los Angeles and San Francisco, I got a very great reception. In the Rath Yatra festival, about 10,000 boys and girls followed me for 7 miles. Hari Bol! Some reporter, what do you try to teach, sir? I'm trying to teach what you have forgotten. Wow. This is Srila Prabhupada's answer. Devotee is laughing. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Some reporter, which is what? That is God. Some of you are saying there is no God. Some of you are saying God is dead. And some of you are saying God is impersonal or void. These are all nonsense. Prabhupada can say this. Nonsense. I want to teach all the nonsense people that there is God. That is my mission. Any nonsense can come to me. I shall prove that there is God. That is my Krishna consciousness movement. It is a challenge to the atheistic people. This is God. As we are sitting here face to face, you can see God face to face if you are sincere and if you are serious. See Prabhuji, this is a very important instruction from Prabhupada. As we are sitting here face to face, you can see God face to face. Listen this carefully. If you are sincere and if you are serious. We can see God, Prabhupada. We can see God face to face. Prabhupada says if you are sincere and if you are serious. That is possible. Unfortunately, you are trying to forget God. Therefore, you are embracing so many miseries of life. So I am simply preaching that you become Krishna conscious and be happy. Don't be swayed by these nonsense waves of Maya or illusion. When the reporter asked if the singing was essential to the sustenance of your faith, Prabhupada answered at length, describing the cleansing effect of chanting Hare Krishna. He quoted Srimad Bhagavatam's declaration that anyone without God consciousness has no good qualities. Test any of our students, Prabhupada said. How they are good, how they are advanced, test it. Bring anyone in the world and compare with any one of our boys. You will find how much difference there is in their character and their feeling and their consciousness. If you want a peaceful society, then you must make people God conscious, Krishna conscious. Everything will be automatically resolved. Otherwise, your so-called United Nations will not help. So Prabhupada was so powerful, proud of his students and disciples. He said, bring anybody, and compare with anybody in the world. They are all wonderful. Gulam, you want to carry on?
It's the top one. The reporters asked about Billy Graham, the moon landing, the war in Ireland, and the whereabouts of Prabhupada's wife and children. They asked him to turn his head towards them, and they clicked away with their cameras. They thanked him, and the reception dispersed. Prabhupada went from the building to the gleaming white Rolls Royce awaiting him outside, courtesy of John Lennon. Prabhupada entered the back seat and sat cross-legged. The limousine was equipped with darkened windows and a lavish interior, including a television. The devotees had become so confused in their excitement that none of them had thought to join Prabhupada, and the chauffeur whisked him away to Tittenhurst. Prabhupada silently, except for his occasionally audible chanting, as the chauffeur headed through the winding roads leading away from the airport. It's funny that Prabhupada would sit cross-legged in the car. You know, he wouldn't sit normally, you know. And just as he's sitting on the Vyasasana now, he was sitting like that in the car. He was in England. His father, Gaur Mohan, had never wanted him to go to England. Once, an uncle had told Gaur Mohan that his son should go to England to become a barrister. But Gaur Mohan had said no. If his son went there, the meat-eaters, drinkers, and sex-mongers might influence him. But now, 70 years later, Prabhupada had indeed come to London, not to be influenced by the English men, but to influence them. He had come to teach them what they had forgotten. And see how he's influenced us. Now we have centers all over the country. And he was off to a good start under Krishna's special care. When he had to live alone in New York City without any money, that had been Krishna's mercy. And now he was entering England in a chauffeured limousine. Also Krishna's mercy. Accepting the ride as part of Krishna's plan, Prabhupada remained deeply fixed in the purpose of carrying out the order of his spiritual master, whatever circumstances await. That's it. You see the difference, you know. Prabhupada started his mission for 10 years. 10 years he traveled to the West, no? He started ISKCON in the last 10 years of his life. From the first 10 years, he only had a little bit of money, alone in New York. And within a few years, he's in London with a chauffeur and limousine, you know. It's a big difference. With a TV in the car. As they turned onto Route 4, proceeding towards Slough, Prabhupada saw factories and warehouses, and then the flat countryside with orchards, fields, and grazing horses. The grey, chilly weather hinted of winter ahead. After about 20 minutes, Prabhupada reached the wealthy neighborhood of Ascot, and soon, appearing on the left, an high redwood fence surrounding the Lennon estate. That Lennon estate is still there. The John Lennon's house, it got sold to, who was the other member of the Beatles? No? It was someone else. Ringo. He sold his house to Ringo. And now it's belonging to some sheikh. It's still there. You can visit the same house. It belongs to someone else. So maybe we can go and visit one day where Prabhupada stayed and do Kirtan outside his house. Prabhupada had arrived before his disciples, but those who had remained at the manor excitedly received him and showed him to his room on the second floor of the servants' quarters. The small room was chilly and damp, with a low table for a desk and a wall-to-wall carpeting made from pieces of rug taken from the other rooms. The adjoining room was bare and even smaller. Prabhupada sat down at his low desk. Where is everyone? He asked. As he leaned back and gazed out the window, he saw rain just beginning to fall. Then, when George, John, and Yoko dropped by after Prabhupada's lunch, Shyam Sundar invited them to come up and meet Prabhupada. George turned to John and asked, "Do you want to go up?" The bearded, bespectacled master of Tittenhurst, hair down onto his shoulders, assented. Yoko also was curious. So up they all went to Prabhupada's little room. Smiling graciously from behind his desk, Prabhupada asked his guests to enter and be seated. Here were two of the most famous people in England, and Krishna wanted to speak to them. Prabhupada removed his garland and handed it to Shyam Sundar, indicating that he should put it around George's neck. "Thank you," said George. "Hare Krishna." Prabhupada smiled. "This is Krishna's blessing." "Hare Krishna," George replied again. "Yes," Prabhupada said. "There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, Yad Yad Acharita Shristas Tat Tat Eva Taro Jana Sayat Paramanam Kurute Lokas Tad Anu Vartate." The idea is that anything which is accepted by the leading persons, ordinary persons followed them. Yad yad acharati shrestha. Shrestha means leading persons. Acharati means act. Whatever leading persons act, people in general follow them. If the leading person says it is nice, then it is all right. The others also accept it. So by the grace of God, Krishna, you are the leaders. Thousands of young men follow you. They like you. So if you give them something actually nice, the face of the world will change. And this was actually Prabhupada's whole, kind of philosophy. He wanted to go to the influential people. Who was leading the world at that point financially was Britain and America. So if he goes to Britain and makes them devotees, then naturally the whole world will want to become devotees. And the whole world will want to practice bhakti. So you see how he's really going to the influential people. George Harrison and John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Even meeting so many presidents and governmental figures, in Paris, different places. Should we switch to another person?
Hare Krishna. Although George and John were about the same age as most of Prabhupada's disciples, Prabhupada considered them Sreshtas, respected leaders. You are also anxious to bring some peace in the world. Prabhupada continued, I have read sometimes your statement. You are anxious also. Everyone is, every saintly person should be anxious to bring in peace in the world. But we must know the process. He explained the peace formula. According to Bhagavad Gita, only those who recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the proprietor of everything, the object of all sacrifices, and the friend of everyone can find peace. Prabhupada then told the two Beatles even more directly what he had already hinted at. They should learn Krishna consciousness and help teach it to the world. I request you to at least understand this philosophy to your best knowledge. He said, if you think it is nice, pick it up. You are willing it to give something to the world. So try this. You have read our books, this Bhagavad Gita as it is. John, I have read bits of Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavad Gita. I don't know which version it was. There is so many different translations. Prabhupada, there are different translations. Therefore, I have given this edition Bhagavad Gita as it is. Prabhupada explained that the material world is a place of misery. Nature is cruel. In America, President Kennedy was thought to be the most fortunate, happy man honored throughout the world. But within a second, Prabhupada loudly snapped his fingers. He was finished. Temporary. Now what is his position? Where is he? His life is eternal. If the living entity is eternal, where he has gone? What he is doing? Is he happy or he is distressed? He is born in America or China? Nobody can say, but it is a fact that as living entity, he is eternal, he is existing. Prabhupada explained the transmigration of the soul. Then again he requested, try to understand it, and if it is nice, you take it up. You are after something very nice. Is my proposal unreasonable? The two Beatles glanced at one another but didn't answer. Prabhupada gave a soft, amused laugh. You are all intelligent boys, try to understand it. Prabhupada spoke to the importance of music in the Vedas. The same Veda, he said, is full of music. Followers of the Samaveda are always in music. The musical vibration, they are approaching the Supreme. He then sang slowly 3 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. Matirne Krishna Pratapa Svato Va Mito. Prabhu, can you help me? Okay, Prabhu. Because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly achieve that which has already been achieved. Their inclinations towards Krishna are never aroused, either by the instruction of others, by their own efforts, or by combination of both. Person who is strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as their leaders or gurus, a similar blind man attached to external sense objects, cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached man led by another materially attached man are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor, which are made by very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. Unless they smear up on their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnava completely freed from material contamination, persons very much inclined towards materialistic life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of the feet of the Lord, who is glorified for his uncommon activities. Only by overcoming Krishna consciousness, taking the shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord Vishnu, of the Lord, in this way can anyone freed from material contamination. Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhu, do you like?
Then Prabhupada asked his guests what philosophy they were following. Following, John asked, "We don't follow anything." Yoko said, "We are just living." "We have done meditation," said George, "or I do my meditation, mantra meditation." They began to ask questions, the same question Prabhupada had heard so many times before. After hearing Prabhupada explanation of Brahman, the all-pervading spiritual energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yoko doubted whether Brahman could remain pure and not deteriorate in time. Prabhupada advised that she would have to become a serious student before she could actually understand spiritual philosophy. John and Yoko began devoted had difficulties accepting Prabhupada's concept of Vedic authority. John, we still have keep shifting through sand to see who's got the best. Prabhupada, no one think you try to understand why these peoples, if Krishna is not the supreme authority, why they are taking Krishna's book and ting. Why don't you try to understand? George, I'm not saying Krishna is not the supreme. I believe that there is a misunderstanding about the translation of Sanskrit Gita into English, and I was saying that there are many versions, and I think we thought We were trying to say your version, your translation was the authority, and that the other